To those who dedicate their lives to protecting ours, we send our thanks and offer complimentary admission to enter Busch Gardens or SeaWorld Park.
Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel. And on behalf of all of us here at SeaWorld, we would like to take this moment to show our support for the men and women of the armed forces and our first responders. We proudly welcome you and your families, and at this time we ask that any past or present members of the United States military, any of our allies from around the world, and all first responders to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring these men, women, and their families. We thank you for your service. Orca Encounter will begin in just a few moments, but first, we would like to share with you a short film about the Ursinus orca and its place in the world we all share.
The ocean covers over 70% of the Earth's surface and is essential to all life, both in the sea and on land. There's one animal that is the perfect ambassador for the ocean, and that's the Ursinus orca, or killer whale. In just a few minutes, you'll meet SeaWorld's killer whales. First though, let's find out more about these remarkable animals. Ursinus orca, or the killer whale, is the most widely distributed mammal on Earth. They can be found throughout the ocean, all around the world, including in the Arctic, the Atlantic, the Southern, the Indian, and the Pacific Oceans. No other single marine species lives in as many different ocean habitats or is as directly reliant on as many different types of marine life as the killer whale. More than any other marine animal, the Ursinus orca is the very embodiment of our shared global ocean. Until about 2 decades ago, scientists didn't know that there were actually several different varieties or ecotypes of killer whales. With effort and observation, however, we discovered that there are actually 10 distinct ecotypes, each differing in size, behavior, diet, lifestyle, and appearance. A striking characteristic of the orca is their black and white skin. This camouflage is called disruptive coloration. In a murky environment, this coloration can make them difficult to detect. Killer whales are counter-shaded. Their top surface is darker than their surface underneath. From below, looking up, they blend in with the light from above. From above, looking down, they're invisible against the dark depths. Killer whales are warm-blooded and breathe air just like we do. Killer whales are the largest members of the Delphinidae, or dolphin family. As you can see, they have impressive physical characteristics. Orcas have keen eyesight, both above and below the water. The dorsal fin of an adult male can be up to 6 feet in height. Pectoral flippers and tail flick can propel them through the water at a high rate of speed with great maneuverability. Their top speed is nearly 30 miles per hour. Killer whales use echolocation to hunt and to communicate. Communication is also accomplished through tail slaps, breaching, and vocalizations. You'll experience a variety of natural killer whale behaviors during Orca Encounter today. We ask our whales to replicate natural behaviors such as breaching, spy hopping, and tail slaps. While awe-inspiring and entertaining for our guests, these behaviors are also essential to maintaining the health and well-being of the killer whales in our care. Much remains to be understood regarding the Ursinus orca. One thing we do know, however, is that across the globe, they face real challenges as the general health of the prey populations and habitats on which killer whales depend suffer due to changes in the environment. In just a few moments, you'll encounter SeaWorld's killer whales and learn even more about these fascinating animals. As the most widely distributed mammal on Earth, the killer whale is uniquely positioned to represent the beauty, power, and fragility of the ocean.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra, and on behalf of our entire killer whale training team, I'd like to welcome you all to Orca Stadium. Being a part of SeaWorld's mission is more than just a job. We're proud of what we do, and it's a privilege for us to care for, build relationships with, teach, and learn from these amazing animals. Now, more than ever, we are honored to share our relationships with the whales and what we have learned with all of you. And now, SeaWorld proudly presents Orca Encounter!
Our world has one interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
Here it comes. Look, Mallory. There it goes.
and complex learning abilities. These behaviors keep our whales active and engaged. SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired guests all over the world to care about their natural environment, and we're excited to share their story with all of you here today.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high flying and powerful.
We're going to see all of that and more. These behaviors contribute to an environment that is full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, and years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit a doctor, you present your arm to draw blood, or you step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Today, we'll see the whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors help us strengthen their social bonds and enable them to problem solve as a group. Working together as a team is what makes the killer whale the ocean's top predator. Scientifically, they're known as the Orcitus orca and more commonly referred to as the killer whale. But here at SeaWorld, we know them as Katina, Milani, Malia, Trua, and Makayo, our killer whale family. And while Makayo is the youngest member, 14 years old, his mother Katina is the oldest at 49, and she is our matriarch and leader of our pod. Now, SeaWorld's animal training technique between us and the whales. It's a language of learning, through positive reinforcement, encouragement, commitment, and ultimately care. Through these techniques and our relationships, trust us, and they even learn to take an active role in their very own health and well-being. One of the very first healthcare behaviors that we pod members is called the Good Present, which Katina is going to demonstrate right here in our slide out. Now you'll notice that when she rolls over, not only do we get a great look at her entire body, but we also get access to the blood vessels that are easily seen on the white undersides of her tail flukes. Our veterinarians will collect a blood sample at least once a month, and all of the whales are taught to remain calm and relaxed throughout the entire procedure. You may even notice our trainers today giving them rundowns on different parts of their bodies, including those tail flukes. Killer whales have very sensitive skin, so this is one of the many ways that we can reward them for remaining calm during procedures like this one, and it's a great way for us to strengthen our relationships with them. But blood samples are just one of the many, many ways that we can ensure their health, and another very important diagnostic is weighing them. To weigh a killer whale, we'll ask them to slide their body in giant killer whales, and when they do, there's a portion of their body, from their dorsal fin down to their tail flukes that remains in the water called the peduncle. It's very muscular and very, very heavy. Now, with their peduncles still in the water, we would not be weighing them anything. That's kind of like stepping on a scale with just one foot. So all we have to do is when they slide their bodies up and out of the water, we ask them to lift their tail flukes up and out of the water, just like this. Snap first. There we are. Now, training this posture enables us to ensure accuracy, so we know that our younger whales are growing properly and our older whales are maintaining a healthy weight.
And the care isn't just physical. Mental stimulation and play are vital, and we surprise and engage with our whales at every opportunity. Play is how killer whales teach their young to hunt, and for the adults, play is important too. It seems that they just enjoy having fun. Making time for play is an important part of life for killer whales, and for us.
Hi again, everyone. I'm down here on the left side of the stadium, and we just learned that killer whales love to play. In fact, they learn a lot through mimicry and observational learning, and from a very young age, they'll pick up unnecessary watching and playing, follow the leader. And we're putting that to the test today with Katina, Milani, Malia, and all of you guys. So, to help me out, everyone on the left on your feet, you guys are going to be the leader, and Katina is going to follow. Step one is to just keep your hands to your side. When I say 1, 2, 3, go, I want everyone to put 2 hands in the air and give a nice big wave. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Keep waving! And she's got it! Well done, everyone, or should I say well done. You guys did great. You can all take a seat again. Now, you may have noticed that she was paying very we're all doing. Killer whales are curious animals and can often be seen spy hopping or jumping just like we're gonna see at the stage. Let's give it up for Malia. Alright, that was a really cool jump, but I think it's time for something even a little bit bigger. Everyone on the right, on your feet. You guys have a different hand signal. You're gonna take 2 pointer fingers out in front of you just like this and throw them over your left shoulder. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice hand signal, everyone. You guys got it. And Alani's on. Now, killer whales breach for a number of different reasons. It might be to scratch an itch, stun their prey, or just simply to show off. And that's why we call it the Stone Zone. Don't worry, that's not where that came from. But let's give it up for Katina, Milani, Malia, and all of you. SeaWorld's research and observation of the killer whales in our care has helped to shed light on many mysteries. For example, we've learned that the gestation period of a pregnant killer whale is about 17 months. That's information that would be impossible to obtain in the wild. Some information, however, can only be gained through field research, and that's why SeaWorld partners with groups like the Norwegian Orca Survey and NOAA to advance killer whale education. Killer whales are powerful animals, and perhaps the best expression of that power can be seen when they hunt.
Killer whales stand apart. They have no natural predators, and just about any other ocean animal could be their dinner. Depending on where they live and their chosen prey, they've developed some epic hunting techniques. Off the coast of South America, killer whales will beach themselves, riding in on waves just long enough to catch prey. They'll also create waves that knock animals like penguins or seals from icebergs. Most importantly, they cooperate, communicate, and coordinate as a team. Here's footage of killer whales corralling a school of herring. A whale dips in and feeds, while the other whales keep the fish together with spikes of their tail fins.
So killer whales create waves when they hunt, and they use their tail fins to stun their prey. You're about to see a demonstration. For our killer whales, it's a high-energy activity session. But for all of you, it means it's time to get wet.
Look, Jeffrey.
pollution, and other factors are having a serious impact on